Hello YouTube and welcome back to my FIFA 16 Hull City career mode, sorry. As you can see, we're just going through the results in this episode. We won 1-0 against QPR, 3-0 against West Bromwich Albion. Then we lost 4-0 in the group stage to Anderlecht. We beat Leicester City 1-0 and Watford 1-0. Obviously this is because I lost all of the footage. So this was just a run through of all the results in this episode. As you can see, we start off the next month by beating Aberdeen of Scotland 1-0, and then we won away to Liverpool 1-0. So I believe that's 4 1-0s in a row before losing 2-1 at home to Manchester United. And then drawing 0-0 with Young Boys. So, like I say, this is just going to be a quick run through of results. I'll just be talking over it. A 1-1 away at Bournemouth there. Probably is the game we could be winning. I missed the Norwich result, but I went back and looked. That was a 2-0 win. Then we lost 1-0 to Anderlecht. We dominated that game, as I remember. Then we lost 3-0 to Chelsea in the league, which was a big turning point. The league would have been a lot different. You'll see that at the end of the episode. Anyway, we beat Stoke 2-0, drew 1-1 with Aston Villa, drew 1-1 with Sunderland, and then drew 2-2 with Aston Villa. And then you can see we get into January. We lost 3-0 in the FA Cup, but this was all simmed like I usually do. We beat Stoke 2-1, beat Chelsea 1-0 at home, simming, which was a big surprise. I'm pretty sure Andrew Robertson got the winner. Then we won 2-0 at Norwich. But this cup game I made a lot of changes to the squad. Then we, I believe, won 2-1 at home to Bournemouth. And you can see we just go through the dealings. I think the January ones were Amrabat coming in. And I was stupid. I signed Kirchhoff and Van der Horn on pre-contracts because I thought that I would sim the next few seasons or so, but I've left it too late and I've decided not to. The only real departure was Keane leaving for 10 million, which is why I bought Amrabat. As you can see, I'm going to go through here, and hopefully you didn't pay too much attention to that or it'll spoil the end of the video. But I'm just looking through at some of the young players, obviously Darren Fry, Andre Marriott, Jason Colthurst, who came in the first season, and Theo Proctor, who I gave some game time in the Europa League to, and obviously Rangelov, who was Berbatov's regen, who I didn't realise was 5-star skills and 5-star weak foot. So anyway, here's a run through of the Europa League groups. I will skip past ours, but then go back to it at the end after I've looked at all of them. As you can see though, we did finish second in our group behind Anderlecht, by 6 points and 5 points ahead of Young Boys and 8 points ahead of Aberdeen. Then you can see we drew 1-1 at Manchester United before losing 1-0 at Arsenal. Then into the round of 32 of the Europa League, we won 1-0 in the home game against Lazio and 1-0 away, getting us into the round of 16. So really good results there before losing 1-0 at home to Liverpool. But between the two Lazio results, we won 1-0 against Crystal Palace in the league. And in the next month, you can see we started the month poorly by losing 1-0 at home to Watford before beating Swansea 3-1. A good win for us there at the Liberty Stadium. Then we got into the Europa League next round, won 2-0 at home to Borussia Mönchengladbach before drawing 2-2 away from home. That was a really good game, and it's a shame that I lost the footage of that one because that was really good. 2-2 draw, I believe. Then we won 3-1 at home to Southampton. Then you can see we get into the next month, and I missed what the result was there. We had a result against Everton and drew 1-1 at Schalke. I believe we won 1-0 in the home game. Then we won 2-0 in Roma. The game against Sunderland was 1-1, I remember, because that was one I'd missed. But then we beat Man City 3-1 again, I believe. That we did that earlier in the season before drawing 0-0 with Roma to get into the final of the Europa League. And you can see I believe we beat Leicester before beating West Bromwich Albion 2-1 at home before finally, if I will leave out of this stage at one point. I think I left that because that was when Chelsea finally dropped points. It had kept changing between who was in the lead, but that was when we finally got back on top of the table before we beat QPR away from home 1-0. Obviously, then the last 2 episodes will be the final game of the League and the Europa League final, which I have already played and nearly spoiled in this episode, actually, if I didn't remember to trim it down. But here's the league table going into the final day of the season. We're a point ahead of Chelsea, but as usual, we will end the episode with a squad report. If you like this episode, please do leave a like, as that would be much appreciated. If you want to see the final 2 episodes of this career mode, or anything I do on FIFA 17, my Sunderland career mode, do subscribe. But once again, thanks for watching. See you later.